All right. Well, just a few words from my side. I just want to say hi. I'm 2damax. I'm a cosmic medical shaman, a DJ, but my occupation is paramedic. And my connection to the earth is very important as a shaman. You'll see that I do a lot of fundraising for a lot of animals, especially rhinos. And at the moment, we are trying to raise funds for the baboon sanctuary. So today, being Earth Day, is quite a important day for someone like me because planet Gaia shares a lot of lives with a lot of creatures that are very important for our existence here. And I work a lot, as a shaman with the green world, which is the earth world. Having Irish descent, we always talk about how nature and the earth has spirit, and the spirit within earth is what helps us heal our own spirit, our own soul, to connect us to remind us that we are never alone here, and that whatever obstacle there is in our life, nature is the best teacher, teaching us to overcome rock when with water is the best motion we can use. And then there's times when we need to dry and be warm and embrace the sun like nature does. And that always just reminds me of how, we need to take care of ourselves. And, nature is our Mother Earth. It's our provider who gives us our nutrients that we need, the medicine that we need, and the warmth that we need. So we need to take care of our planet. We need to take care of her creatures and even the adopted creatures that have been brought from other extraterrestrial planets, star systems here. All planets are important. So if we are celebrating Earth today, my recommendation is go do something that makes you feel connected to Earth. And whether you are a water baby, whether you are an earth baby or an air baby or fire, or maybe incorporate all elements just so you can root your energy during these crazy times. So much love to planet Gaia, planet Earth. Whoop, whoop. Back to you, Experience. Thanks for giving me the mic.
Sure. It's certainly great to be here and appreciate you putting this thing together. I think a lot of us really do understand the importance of this beautiful planet that we live on, in keeping it habitable. And every time around this year, I kind of feel pain, to be honest, because things seem to be getting worse, as far as overall awareness and willing to take action in our daily lives, so to speak. So I'm really encouraged by the use of the metaverse for this type of stuff. Cirrus and Lisbeth, we're working together on some stuff to try and highlight this a little bit. And I certainly am grateful that we have this platform and friends that, as I said, care about this beautiful planet. And I hope that we can do more to save her.
Hello, I'm Micho from Japan. Uh, uh, Let me say a few words. 2damax says she's a shaman. That's interesting to me because in Japan, tradition in ancient times, Japanese people lived in harmony with nature and respecting nature. And we had some sort of animism, you know, we 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 had some sort of feeling that there's something sacred spiritual beings in nature, such as rocks, rivers, mountains, and water. We had in ancient times, young people have such animistic sense, but in modern life, uh, 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 many Japanese people forget that, and I think it's important to remember that animistic sense. Thank you. Thank you.
Let's get ready to dance. Boom chakalat.
Let's see if I can get that system online.
Hello. I know. Hi, it's me, the long lost one woman. Hello. I am fine. I'm so glad to see you celebrating Earth Day. It's such an important time, and more people need to be aware of everything that's going on in the world that is not healthy for our Earth. We have not been very good caretakers. I don't know how the rest of you feel, but I don't think we've overall been very good caretakers. And it has taken exceptionally good care of us. This earth has. So, how is everyone? Can you hear me? Ah, yes. Second year, congratulations. And I hope there's many, many more years of it. Um, if you like, I have a poem or two I could read. It's not specifically about Earth Day, but it's about being alive in this world, if that would be okay. Okay, thank you. It may sound a little different. I'm on my new iPhone, so I don't know how the sound is or anything, but I'll do my best. This is a new poem that none of you have heard before. It's called Anchor in the Quiet. And for those that don't know, one of my true passions in life is sailing. I love the ocean. I've loved the ocean since I was 2 years old. So this is a, about being on the water. The wind arrives like an old friend, salt-tongued and familiar with my silence. I guide my little sunfish to the far north of the lake, anchoring off a hushed islet, where the trees lean in like conspirators and the water forgets to speak. No voices but the water's hush, no company but the creak of old wood and the steady breath of the lake. I sit with bare feet and memory as fish leap like secrets, breaking the surface just long enough to glisten. The sky is overcast, but I am warm with remembering. The shape of a wave calls back a day, a sudden squall off Behahanda, laughter flung wide as canvas, the black Atlantic wild beneath us as we race the storm, young and sunlit and sure. I remember Key West sun on my shoulders, hands thick with salt, the scent of mangrove and diesel, chart lines scribbled with hope and risk. I remember nights at anchor when silence curled around the hull like something holy, when peace came not as reward, but as return. And here now, I drift in quieter waters. This lake does not know the tides I've known, but still it welcomes me. It holds me as if it remembers too. The mangroves are strangers to this place, but I see them still. Shadows shifting where the tide once breathed, egret's wings raised in my mind, slicing silence the way only memory can. I hear the gulls from another life, and a voice, his voice, calling me something I cannot quite hold. My arms once pulled wind into sail, my legs knew the rhythm of balance, my body, my first vessel, never failed me on water. It remembered what freedom felt like long before my mind did. The boat and I say little. We know how to listen to the air, to the water, to the long memory of wind. And I have sailed through love and loss, through hurricanes and hush, through nights too dark to name, and mornings that broke me open. There was a time I believed I would never leave the sea, that I would die with the salt still wet on my lips. But now I am a bit older, anchored here between this lake and the sky, where time does not rush and no one calls me back. I trail my fingers in the water, this still northern water, and bless it, as I once blessed every passage, every reef, every full moon tide. Someday they'll find my lines coiled just so, the tiller tied off like a memory, the boat still turned gently toward the horizon. And when the wind stops calling, when even memory sails away, I will not chase it. I will lower the sail. I will thank the sea and rest. Night comes with a hush and a promise. I watch the stars drop anchor one by one and remember how it feels to belong to nothing but the sea. And if this is the last time, if this is the last sail I ever speak of, let it be enough. Let this lake hold the echo of every wave I've ever known. The wind remember my name. Ah, sorry. Let the poem be the boat now. Let it carry what I cannot keep. And may it reach some distant shore where another sailor waits, already listening for the wind. Poem. Thank you. And if you like, I have one more, and it's shorter. It's about what the garden knows. It's up to you. I don't know what else you have planned today. Okay. As I don't know if you realize this, I'm no longer living in Michigan. I moved last July up north to Vermont, and I'm living on my family ancestral property, which is a very large farm. And this is something I was taught right from a very early age about the land. The garden knows. It begins with dirt, not clean, not tame, but holy in its stubbornness, a hymn of rot and promise, sung beneath the nails. The old man stoops, bones echoing the ache of weathered seasons. He pats the ground like a sleeping child, says nothing, but the earth understands his silence. He does not teach, he demonstrates the rhythm of watering at dawn, the quiet ritual of thinning sprouts, though each one fought to live. He murmurs once, to no one in particular, it's not the seed you plant, but the one that survives the storm. Then presses his palm to the soil like a seal, as if to bless it or ask forgiveness. A child kneels beside a beet, her fingers pink with wonder, her palms smelling of something older than she knows how to name. She has come to play, but the ground played back. It offered resistance. It offered mystery. A worm slipped across her knuckles and she didn't flinch. She looked at it, really looked, and something shifted. Her eyes followed the roots she pulled, trailing deep into the earth like a secret thread, and she thought, maybe this is what stories are made of. Maybe this is where they begin, in silence, in soil, in the slow learning of what lives beneath. And standing between them, hands resting on her hips, her hair caught with petals of light, the woman watches. She sees the way the man kneels, not with pain, but with reverence. She sees the child's breast still as the moment blooms within her. And in that space between youth and age, between becoming and remembering, her heart swells with love, with unbearable, radiant love, for this humble miracle, for the secret of mint rising from the scent of mint rising from memory, for the way basil leans in her hand like a friend, for the hum of bees gossiping in marigolds, for the sound of tomatoes splitting their skins in the sun, bursting the laughter at ripe with like laughter with ripeness. She is no longer watching. She is part of it. The rose, the rain, the ruin, the bloom. Her joy is not quiet. It is a song so bright she could burst into blossom herself. Because the garden knows. It remembers everything, every fallen petal, every buried root, every westward name said aloud in the morning mist. It teaches in seasons, not sermons, that growth is slow, that grief is natural, that the best things ripen only when you stop watching. And in the end, as the sun burns low and baskets overflow, you do not eat just the fruit, but the days, the waiting, the love. Poem. Thank you. I do too. I sincerely do too. And it's so good to be back in this garden. You do not understand how this garden changed my life. And hopefully someday I'll be able to tell you about it. But anyway, it's so good to be back here and to see everyone and to hear the music and to see the dancing and the joy that spatial can bring to all of us. Thank you. Bye, everybody. I'll try to stop in tomorrow as well, Experience. And if you can, yeah. Oh, thank you. I all I can say is when we had that reading, I never realized what having that reading here in this garden was going to mean for me personally. And I just have to thank you so very, very much. My life has changed radically because of that reading. And it is amazing. It is really amazing. And I'm just so very grateful for everyone here in Spatial and the time I've spent here in Spatial. And I'm not going away, but I